Wake up, Jacob. No intro here. So the question is, when will it end? We see that what's going on in Minneapolis, and I just watched the video where a police officer steps on a man's neck, or has his knee on his neck for extended amount of time, almost 10 minutes if you've seen the video. And in about, I would say, 6 minutes or so, maybe a little less, the man that's on the ground is lifeless. And the whole time, people are saying, hey, you don't have to do that. Now, the beginning of the video, he's begging and pleading and letting the police officer know, hey, listen, I cannot breathe. My chest hurt, my neck hurt, I can't breathe. And he's basically begging for his life. Now, some other people, come by and they start talking to the officers. And there's one officer who's pretty much keeping everyone back, right? Keeping everyone back. I think it's Officer Chow or something. Now, this is over in Minneapolis. You guys go Google it for yourself. The video will probably eventually be taken down at some point. The video will probably be taken down. But go ahead and Google it. Police officer kills, man in, during an arrest in Minneapolis. So you look those type of things up. So you have your Officer Chow, who is, keeping everyone back, and they were telling him, they say, look, man, this dude, you're killing him. He can't, check his vitals, things like that. Very, very unfortunate. And while I'm watching the video, I found it very, very, very disturbing. And I think what we got to understand, brothers and sisters, that this thing is obviously it's nothing new. Obviously it's nothing new, but it's just not going to end. This is not going to end. This is going to keep happening over and over and over and over. It's like it's the time of Jacob's trouble. And a lot of things are going to happen. A lot of things would be for Eric Garner, another one, dies, selling a pack of cigarettes, things like that. Was it Mike Brown, Sandra Bland? We can go on and on. We can go on and on. You guys can put in the comments. Dying by police officer. You get one who's not off duty but retired. What just happened a couple of weeks ago, with the jogger. Jogging while black. And it was a retired police officer and his son, obviously, Aubrey. This is not the end of it, brothers and sisters. It's going to keep happening. And what's interesting is when you point out things like this, when you talk about things like this, what happens is that it gets convoluted, right? If you say, oh, Black Lives Matter, then they're going to say, well, all lives matter. It is just to convolute the matter, okay? Just to get it convoluted, and you get way off the point, and it just goes in a completely different direction. Same thing happened with Colin Kaepernick, right? He was protesting police brutality. He kneeled for that, but then it became this whole thing about him kneeling, right? So people, oh, it's unpatriotic. He's disrespecting the flag. He's disrespecting our veterans. He's disrespecting. But look at what's happening. We're not talking about police brutality anymore. That subject is lost. And that is the goal. We talk about issues like this, and all of a sudden, we're pulling the race card. It just gets convoluted. Now, me, it's disturbing. It's disturbing. It is enough to cause a race war. Now, we who are in the know, we're in the Bible and things like that, we understand that it's really going to be, people coming after Israel. We know that. We know. And then there's some people who will join themselves unto Israel. They won't look like Israel. They won't be melanated, but they will side with Israel. Many people will do that and say, hey, this is not right. You know, hey, you have to look at it like this. People who didn't look like Israel, they helped, what, Harriet Tubman, right? She didn't dig those tunnels herself. And there wasn't enough melanated people who had homes that the tunnels can run under and so on and so forth, right? So there are going to be some people who will sympathize with Israel's plight. But make no mistake about it. This is like the time of Jacob's trouble. See, systematic racism is just different because you're going to get people that can come in and they're going to say, oh, well, hey, black people are racist and things like that. But you got to understand, real racism has power, which means someone can do something. Someone can do something about it, right? So if the Gentile is racist against you, as a society as a whole, they can do something about it. They don't want you around, you will be gone. They want you in jail, you can be in jail. They want to close down your business, you can close down their business. They want you to have inferior education, they can make that happen. I mean, there's power behind the racism. It's systematic racism. Okay, so a melanated person being racist is not the same as a non-melanated person being racist. It's not the same. It's not weighed the same. But the issue will always get convoluted. We talk about police brutality, and all of a sudden someone said, well, let's talk about black on black crime. That's not the topic right now. It's not the topic. That's not what we're talking about. Because see that, again, distraction. It's a distraction from the real issue. It's a distraction from what's really, really going on. See, number one, guys, we got to keep people on target, on task of what's really going on. It's very, very frustrating. I mean, normally I'd be happy, jovial kind of guy, jokey, but now is not the time. All jokes aside, now is not the time. It's quite ridiculous. So, Israel, what you need to realize is that there are people out there who only want to do ill for you, to you. And I want some of you guys to understand this. Let me put this on the table as well. We're starting to see a lot of police brutality, but let me ask you this. What if all these cases that we're talking about, this one, Mike Brown, Arbery, Sandra Bland, so on, we can go on and on. We can go on and on and on and on and on. But let me ask you this. What if there was no cameras? Imagine that. See, some of us are old enough, we lived in the 80s and stuff, and it was just, that's why you have songs, Fight the Power, and you got NWA, Bleep the Police, and, Ghetto Boys, Cricket Officers, and, you have all those things, right? You have all those. That's why songs like that came about. You have your Ice-T, cop killer and all that. Now, I'm not advocating going to go kill anybody, okay? I'm not advocating that. So let me just say clearly before someone say, oh, well, he wants us to go and kill. No, I'm not. What I'm saying is what is going on right now went on back then, and songs and movements and things like that come about. That's how you have these. That's why they're protesting right now in Minneapolis. That's why they are protesting right now, okay? Now, I like the fact that something like this is getting attention. I do like that. But protesting alone, I don't know if there's going to be justice. I don't. Well, the Bible says, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, right? Blood for blood. So technically, that officer should be tried for murder. Murder. Excessive force. Okay? That's what he should be tried for. But is that going to happen? Is he going to just get suspension? He loses his job, slap on the wrist, something like that? You know, somebody's gonna have to start giving me some updates. What's the update on the whole Mike Brown situation? What's the update with the officer and Sandra Bland? Oh, she killed herself in a cell. Oh, okay, yeah, got it. You know, I've seen multiple videos. I've seen the video where you remember hands up, don't shoot. Guys sitting in the street, hands up in the air. He gets shot. He asked, "Why'd you shoot me?" Scared. Well, the guy actually responded. He said, "I don't know." The guy, officer said, I don't know." Saw a video, guy, black guy in a truck, pulled over at a gas station. He's in his truck at a gas station. Of course, the gun is drawn. Officer draws his gun on him and everything. Now, here's the thing. Now, he said, "All right, put your hands up." He put his hands up, his hands on the steering wheel. Then he says, "Okay, give me your ID, license, registration, all that," right? He asked for those things. The guy reached over to get his registration. Oh, he gets shot. Then the guy says, "Sir, why did you shoot me? Why did you shoot me?" And he goes, I thought you were going for a gun. You told me to get my license. You told me to get my insurance. You told me." So what do you do? So my question is, what happens if there were no cameras? It's the only equalizer that we have. It's the only Sister Harkins, you're absolutely 100% correct. It's a system that was not designed for the Israelite to be on the positive side of it, right? Okay? That whole all being created equal, that we were not in mind. Okay? We're that. And I hate the fact that we could talk about facts, things like what we're discussing right now. It is for them by them. We can talk about things like this, and all of a sudden it's like hate speech. Well, if you're so ashamed of your past, I'm talking about Gentiles, if you're so ashamed of why you keep repeating it? Why you keep doing it? You keep doing it over and over and over. Think about this. Okay, are we getting this? That just a few weeks ago we were talking about Aubrey jogging, and this week, a few weeks later, we talk about a police killing someone on camera. Are we getting what's going on here? Are we grasping the gravity of the situation? Killing someone on camera in front of people, and they want to pretend like, okay, if you've seen the video, they want to pretend the guy, they put him on the freaking gurney for the with the ambulance. They put him on that as if he was alive. The dude was limp. He was like, "Okay, well, let's go, and then, oh, well, he died at the hospital." Oh, I wonder why. Why did he die? Why did he? I wonder why. Did they change? I'm sorry. Did they change the amendment where we're no longer just 3/5 human or something? Did that change, or that still stands? I mean, what's going on here? See, a lot of us, we want to hide our heads in the sand and pretend like all this stuff is not happening. We want to kumbaya our way out of this. This is not going to change. Not anytime soon. Because it gets convoluted and swept under the rug. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand the curses of Israel. But you know what else I understand? Injustice. I understand injustice too. I recognize it when I see it. When will it end? When will it end? Shalom, shalom, brothers and sisters. We have got to wise up. This. You got to make some wise moves. You've got to make some wise moves. And another thing is that you always got to have your only equalizer, right? You do. You gotta have a camera. You get stopped by a police officer, start recording immediately. Start recording. Immediately start recording. And if you have to go, they'll find something about his past and justify for the reason. Yeah, absolutely. They're gonna find something. Yeah, they're gonna find something. Okay, and then the guy who stood by, he should be held culpable too. Officer Chow, he needs to be held culpable as well. He needs to be held accountable. But yeah, they're gonna go ahead and dig up his, none of that matters. None of that matters, but they're gonna make it matter. They're gonna make it matter. Nothing was wrong with. I said Sandra Bland before. Nothing was wrong, and all of a sudden she had all these issues and problems and suicidal and all this, and nobody who knew her said, they said no, she didn't. No, she didn't. This is ridiculous, man. This is absolutely horrific. 2020 has been one hell of a year, and mark my words, it's not over. It's not over. You won't make it past the summer before something like this happens again. Period. Now, some people say, hey, there's going to be a race war. Some people say there is definitely going to be a race war. It just may already be here. It just may already be here. Guys, let's keep each other informed. Let's stay safe out there. Protect yourself. Always have your equalizer. Turn the camera on. Okay? Turn the camera on. As I saw a video, woman the other day. You guys probably saw it yourselves. A woman was saying the guy was not harassing her. He turned his camera on as he should, and the lady said, "I'm gonna call the police." Right? I think he was telling her. You guys look that up too. He was telling, basically, he was her dog was off the leash, and he was telling her, "Hey, your dog needs to be on the leash." And of course, she didn't like, this black man correcting her and all that other stuff. And she just like, okay, well, I'm gonna call a police officer and I'm gonna tell her that, a black man is harassing me and making me scared. And yeah, to leash the dog, making me scared and all this other stuff. And he said, please call the police. I want you to call police. Please call police. Now he's filming. And then when she gets on the phone, all of a sudden she started talking. Now she's talking to him just all crazy, right? But then when she gets on the phone, yes, there's a black man. He's over here. And you hear how she started talking. George Floyd, there you go. You see how she started talking real dramatic, screaming and huffing and all this other stuff. All that. See, we all see this. She gets on the phone, start huffing and sounding frantic and all that. So how do you think the police are going to show up to that guy? Brothers and sisters, have your camera on. Have your camera on. This stuff is going to keep happening. I'm trying to tell you. I'm going to come back on this channel. Like I'm telling you now, it is not going. Yeah, an African American male. That's the very first thing out of her mouth. You're going to understand there's a wicked, wicked world out there. Yeah, exactly. You gotta, oh my gosh, yep. Came and did not look. I came up and ended up, okay, they ended up apologizing. Okay, thank you, Kimberly Wells. I appreciate that. Uniform, and this lady is telling him to get out her building. His camera was on, thank God. Absolutely, absolutely. I see videos like that all the time, and I'll tell you right now, people they will act like we're making it up. We see something like that, they will act as though we're just kind of making it up. I don't get it, guys. I don't. Actually, I do get it. You know what? I apologize. I do get it. I do get it. I do. I get it. I get it. They just it. All I'm gonna say is this, guys. It's real. Okay. Prepare yourself. Okay. Have your camera ready. Prepare yourself. Because that might be the only thing. Okay. The only thing that can protect you. Like if it goes to something like court or someone being sued or harassed or anything like that, might be the only thing. Because remember what you have to have. If a Gentile say you did something, then you need to prove that you're innocent. If you say they did something, it's questionable. It's questionable. So now you need the equalizer just to make it even. Just to make it even. Call it what you want. But we all know what it is. Call it what you want. But we know exactly what it is. I was gonna pull out some scriptures and all that, but come on, you guys know what this is. You know what this is. Protect yourself. Those who follow Yah, those who go by thy name, those who say they are Israel, those who are his, chosen, the hidden ones. Protect yourself. Thank you, Miss Grace. Yeah, you need witnesses. You need cameras. Protect yourself. Move wisely. We need to gather and have plans on how to protect each other. I tell you one thing. Have your camera. If it doesn't happen to you, you be ready. Okay? You be ready if you see an injustice, because justice for Israel is not soon coming. Not until Messiah. You know. Oh, okay. Sister Hawkins, I was gonna go into I think it's Jeremiah, I think 30:7 or 7 and let me see. When it says, even in time of Jacob's trouble, I was gonna go to Deuteronomy 28, where it's talking about, our life will hang in doubt, and towards the end of that chapter, it was talking about, when it's at noonday, you're gonna say, I wish it was at night. When it's at night, you're gonna say, I wish it was day. You know, that in other scriptures where there's no regard for the young or the old, it does not matter. I was gonna go into all that. I was just so passionate about this particular topic, So I do apologize for not getting into more scriptures like that. In fact, I may just do a lesson. I may just do a lesson and put all the scriptures together. If I do that, that'll be on the Shabbat, about noon Central, on the Fountain of Israel channel. I'll do, a lesson, just talking about this, talk about these various tribulations that we're going through. But in the meantime, guys, protect yourself. Protect yourself. It's very infuriating. Right now, it's taking everything that's in me to keep my composure. So in the meantime, do everything you can to protect yourself and come out of the cities. Come out, get out, and let's stay out. Israelite Prepper. I'll see you guys on the next one. Like, share, subscribe.